Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of today's GK. Let's begin with previous day's practice question. Question was, consider the following statements regarding the Article 3 of the Indian Constitution. 1. Under it, states can alter their boundaries. 2. Under it, Parliament can change the name of any state. 3. Under it, Parliament can form a completely new state by separating the territory from any state. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none. The correct answer is option B, only two. Recently, the Zoe Reunification Organization of Mizoram had stated that they need separate state for Zoe community under Article 3 because of ongoing conflict going on in Manipur between Meitei and 𝐾𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐢 community. According to the Article 3 of the Indian Constitution, formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries, or names of existing states, Parliament may by law form a new state by separation of territory from any state or by uniting two or more states or parts of states or by uniting any territory to a part of any state. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Increase the area of any state, diminish the area of any state, alter the boundaries of any state. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. And alter the name of any state. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Now, let's begin today's session. First question is, consider the following statements regarding UN World Water Development Report 2023. 1. It is the first major conference of the United Nations dedicated to water since 1950. 2. According to it, 26% of the world's population doesn't have access to safe drinking water. 3. It focuses on fulfilling SDG 6 goals. How many of the statements given above is or are not correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none. The correct answer is option A, only one. Recently, the United Nations World Water Development Report 2023 Partnerships and Cooperation for Water was released. Also, UN 2023 Water Conference is currently being held in New York. The year 2023 marks the first major conference of the United Nations dedicated to water since 1977. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. The UN 2023 Water Conference 22nd to 24 March focuses on progress towards water and sanitation related goals, coinciding with the mid-term comprehensive review of the International Decade for Action, Water for Sustainable Development 2018 to 2028. According to the report, 26% of the world's population doesn't have access to safe drinking water and 46% lack access to basic sanitation. Hence, statement 2 is correct. According to it, Sustainable Development Goal 6 is to ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all by 2030. At current rates, progress towards all the targets of SDG 6 is off track, and in some areas, the rate of implementation needs to quadruple or more. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Next question is, in which of the following country Trinidad Island is located? Uruguay, Argentina, Peru, or Brazil? The correct answer is option D, Brazil. Trinidad Island is the easternmost and most remote point in Brazilian territory, located about 1,140 km from the southeastern state of Espírito Santo. Trinidad surfaced owing to volcanic activity under the Atlantic Ocean about 3 million years ago. Trinidad, along with Maritime archipelago about 40 km away, host many species of native flora and fauna, including seabirds and marine creatures. It is also known for hosting native seabirds like the Trinidad petrel and the great frigate bird, which is otherwise only found in the Indo-Pacific and not the Atlantic. The surrounding region also hosts species of sharks, dolphins, and corals. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding Belt and Road Initiative. 1. It is an initiative of Japan. 2. It aims to improve connectivity and cooperation on a transcontinental scale. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B, 2 only. Recently, India had refused to support the Belt and Road Initiative of China in Shanghai Cooperation Summit. China proposed the Belt and Road Initiative in 2013 to improve connectivity and cooperation on a transcontinental scale. Hence, statement 1 is not correct and 2 is correct. It is an effort to develop an expanded, interdependent market for China, grow China's economic and political power, and create the right conditions for China to build a high-technology economy. China views the BRI as vitally important in securing its borders on the Asian mainland. It has land borders with 15 nations, including unstable states such as Afghanistan and nations seeking new partnerships in opposition to the US, such as Russia. The Belt and Road investments are viewed as a way to facilitate China's periphery diplomacy, trade, and infrastructure partnerships with the countries along with this enormous land border. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding the Wagner Group. 1. It is an official army of Russia. 2. It is only operating in Ukraine. 3. The organization's head is Prigozhin. How many statements given above is or are not correct? Only 1, only 2, only 3, or none? The correct answer is option A, only 1. Recently, after the failed armed mutiny by the Russian mercenary Wagner Group, Russian President Vladimir Putin thanked the Shanghai Cooperation Organization leaders for expressing their support for the Russian leadership in defending the constitutional order, lives, and security of its citizens. The Wagner Group is a private Russian paramilitary unit of mercenaries fighting in Ukraine and elsewhere. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Yevgeny Prigozhin, present chief of Wagner Group, claims he founded Wagner in 2014. Hence, statement 3 is correct. The Wagner Group was first identified in 2014 when it started backing pro-Russian separatist forces in eastern Ukraine. Wagner forces have also been active in Africa and the Middle East. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding Collegium system in the context of Indian judiciary. 1. Article 217 of the Indian Constitution deals with Indian Constitution. 2. It is the system of appointment and transfer of judges. 3. Presently, it is headed by Justice Deepak Mishra. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none? The correct answer is option A, only 1. Recently, the Collegium led by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud has proposed Chief Justices to fill existing and future vacancies to the High Courts of Kerala, Odisha, Manipur, Andhra Pradesh, Bombay, Telangana, and Gujarat. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. The Article 124, 2 and 217 of the Indian Constitution deal with the appointment of judges to the Supreme Court and High Courts. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. It is the system of appointment and transfer of judges that has evolved through judgments of the SC and not by an act of parliament or by a provision of the Constitution. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Therefore, option A is the correct answer. Next question is, recently Namaste scheme was in news. It is related to child labor, women education, women's safety, or manual scavenging. The correct answer is option D, manual scavenging. Recently, the Central Monitoring Committee of the Social Justice Ministry concluded in its 8th meeting that all unsanitary latrines had been made sanitary under the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and that the problem of manual scavenging is eliminated. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment has formulated a scheme, National Action for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem, that is Namaste. The main features of the scheme to be implemented in all ULBs are Namaste NVSAGEs, identifying the sewer or septic tank workers, occupational training and distribution of PPE kits to SSWs, assistance for safety devices to sanitation response units, and extending health insurance scheme benefits to identified SSWs and their families under the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding particularly vulnerable tribal groups or PVTGs. 1. There are more than 100 identified PVTGs in India. 2. Maharashtra has the highest number of PVTGs in India. 3. PVTGs reside in 18 states and 2 union territories. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none? The correct answer is option D, none. Recently, the Union government has planned to design a survey that can gauge the Human Development Index specifically for the PVTGs. There is a total of 75 PVTGs out of 705 scheduled tribes. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Odisha has the highest number of PVTGs in India. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The PVTGs spread over 18 states and 1 union territory, that is UT. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding the Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle Mark II or GSLV Mk2. 1. It is a launch vehicle developed by India to launch communication satellites in geotransfer orbit. 2. It is a 3-stage space launch vehicle operated by the ISRO to launch satellites. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? The correct answer is option C, both 1 and 2. Recently, the Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft has been integrated with GSLV Mark III launch vehicle at Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota Spaceport. Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle Mark II is the launch vehicle developed by India to launch communication satellites in geotransfer orbit using cryogenic third stage. Hence, statements 1 and 2 are correct. Initially, Russian GK supplied cryogenic stages were used. Later, cryogenic stage was indigenously developed and inducted in January 2014 from GSLV D5 onwards. This operational 4th generation launch vehicle is a 3-stage vehicle with 4 liquid strap-ons. Therefore, option C is the correct answer. Next question is, who amongst the following was not a founding member of Asian Development Bank? India, Pakistan, Nepal, or Uzbekistan? The correct answer is option D, Uzbekistan. Recently, the Asian Development Bank has decided to provide $400 million in loans to Bangladesh for the construction of 102 kilometers long dual gauge railways between Chattogram and Cox's Bazar to promote trade, investment and tourism. ADB was conceived in the early 1960s as a financial institution that would be Asian in character and foster economic growth and cooperation in one of the poorest regions in the world. The Philippines' capital of Manila was chosen to host the new institution, which opened on 19 December 1966 with 31 members that came together to serve a predominantly agricultural region. India, Australia, Pakistan and Indonesia were some of the founding members, and Uzbekistan became a member of ADB in 1995. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. Last question is, consider the following pairs: Maritime Exercise and Partners. 1. JIMEX 23 Japan. 2. AIME 23 Australia. 3. SLINEX 23 Sri Lanka. How many pairs given above are correctly matched? Only 1 pair, only 2 pairs, only 3 pairs, or none? The correct answer is option B, only 2 pairs. Recently, the 7th edition of the bilateral Japan-India Maritime Exercise 2023 or JIMEX 23 is being conducted at of Visakhapatnam. Hence, pair 1 is correctly matched. This edition marks the 11th anniversary of JIMEX since its inception in 2012. AIM 2023 was an ASEAN-India maritime exercise. The primary goal of AIME 2023 is to provide an opportunity for the Indian Navy and ASEAN navies to work together closely and conduct seamless operations in the maritime domain. Hence, pair 2 is not correctly matched. SLINEX 23 was a maritime exercise held between India and Sri Lanka and was aimed to enhance interoperability, improving mutual understanding and exchanging best practices while jointly undertaking multifaceted maritime operations. Hence, pair 3 is correctly matched. Therefore, option B is the correct answer. Now it's time for the practice question. Consider the following statements regarding National Green Tribunal. 1. The National Green Tribunal was established in 2015. 2. NGT is not bound by the procedure laid down under the Code of Civil Procedure. 3. It is guided by principles of natural justice. How many of the statements given above is or are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.